All right, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. This is Sports Hub right on Super Screen Television, and it is the midweek edition. My name is Prince Will Obiesa, and they call me the Duke. So much more to talk on sport this afternoon. The Super Falcons had gotten it right, the Super Eagles on the right track, but we also need the third party who does it pretty well in supporting the Super Eagles. Over the weekend, there was a press conference that was held to intimate the general public on the unified assignment given to the IMC, that's the Interim Management Committee, ably chaired by Vincent Dokumagba, and a lot of other factions have spoken. But in order to have a rejoinder, based on the report we did on Monday, I'll be speaking with the vice chairperson, that's the vice chairman of the Interim Management Committee, another person than Abraham Peter, who will be giving us a detailed brief based on some issues that were raised. Good afternoon, Mr. Abraham Peter.
Good afternoon, Prince Will. Thanks for having me on the show.
Having you, I know you're very busy. In as much as we know it's a national assignment, I want to thank you for taking your time to be here. Let's quickly get the ball rolling. On Saturday, a press conference was called by the Interim Management Committee to unify the Nigerian football and sports supporters group. A lot of issues were raised, and that has to do with reconciliation and amendment of the constitution and to forge a headway. Can you kindly please tell our viewers some key silent areas in the communique before we go to some key issues that I have to ask you questions on right now?
First, my intro will have to be, we are supporters group. We are not fighting. And whatever concerns we have is not beyond what should be reconciled in-house. A unification process was initiated by the Nigeria Football Federation, supported by National Sport Commission. That was the reason why you have sport in our name. It used to be Football Supporters Club, but now Football and Sports, supporters group. So we have an MOU that we work with. I'm here with a copy. So most of my talking I will be doing from here. I don't want to say things and it sounds like I am speaking for myself. I will be speaking mostly from inside this MOU, and everything we've ever done has been guided by the content of this booklet in my hand. I will take you through it when the time comes. So thank you for having me once again, and thank you for coming to that event to give us a live coverage.
All right, let's get to the nitty-gritty. 6 groups were invited. Are the 6 groups in attendance with the MOU? That's the first question.
She said, I watched the clip and I was so shocked because Amaka is a sister, is a member of the IMC, is our financial secretary. We have a platform where we meet regularly as the ESCO of the IMC. So we've exchanged views, we have disagreed, and we have agreed, which is a norm in every setting. When you bring people together, there is bound to be disagreement, and then you disagree to agree in most cases because of the essence of why you are there. So you have to move on. She said the reconciliation meeting in Lagos was a breach to the the MOU that we signed. First of all, I don't know if this is conspicuous enough. I don't know if you can see this. This is the Memorandum of Understanding for the Unification and Interim Management of the Nigerian Football and Sports Supporters Group. This is the MOU that the 6 groups signed in Abuja on the 13th of February. And the content thereof, I may not have the time to go through it, but I will go through some critical points of the MOU. The Memorandum of Understanding is made and entered into this day, 13th day of February 2025. And I want to read out the groups that signed the MOU. The Super Eagles Supporters Club, the Football Fans Club of Nigeria, Nigeria Eagles Supporters Club, All Sports Supporters Club, Authentic Nigeria Football and Allied Sports Supporters Club. These are the 6 major groups that signed this MOU after deliberations. Now, I want to give you a quick story about how the emergence of the chairman. You know, this 6 group, the leader of 6 groups were summoned to were called to Abuja. Let me not use the word summon. Were invited. Has been this discordant tune in the stand, which is taking its toll on the performance of our team, our football team especially. And the players, from what I gathered, complain about this. I mean, how can some be singing, oh, we are saying, give us one goal, or we are this one saying, Oluwa o, la fi ṣíwájú. You know, so this discordant tune should be brought. That is a very great initiative. Let's call this leaders together and see how we can bring them together. So in that meeting was Dr. Jonathan Jagana, Prince Vincent Okumagba, Ambassador Kemi Ogunfuwa, Honorable Sunday Golong, Mr. Abayomi Ogunjimi, Reverend Sam Ikpeya. These were the gladiators at that meeting, and they appended their signature at the end of that meeting. So I will take you now back to the content of this MOU, which they all read, signed, and agreed to abide by. So now the story I said I wanted to tell you was, because I can't read the whole of this MOU. The NFA, represented by Barrister Obi and some other stakeholders, called these 6 people and said, look, we can't go on like this. This is what we have to do. We are going to set up an interim management committee. If you want to be part of this interim management committee, you are not going to be eligible to participate in the election. And the IMC, the interim management committee, will last for just 1 year. This 1 year, they will be the one to pilot the affairs of the supporters club. And of course, the assignments that the IMC was saddled with was to set up reconciliation committee, to reconcile all the members across board, not just limited to these 6 groups, but of course, these 6 groups are the major groups. Of course, you know, there are other people that are not really could not be captured in that meeting, but that does not mean, as long as you support football, as long as you support the reconciliation committee is one of the major committee that the IMC should set up. Then the constitution drafting committee, we have to set up a committee that will draft the constitution for supporters club. We are also to set up the committee that will organize the election, the electoral committee, and then the disciplinary committee. These are all captured in the MOU. I've read a part. I'm going to read another one out of the MOU. I don't want to start speaking as if I am speaking my own word.
Yeah, because of time. I quite appreciate that you have the MOU. But the most important thing right now is you just made mention of something quite important. 6 group with some other few groups that are also within the supporters family to be carried along. Now, the big question is this. A question was asked at this point in time, if any group renege, not coming along with the IMC, will the process still go on? That's one. Then 2, which way forward? Because irrespective of the fact that one group is aggrieved doesn't mean that the IMC should not achieve the set goal. So which way forward, Mr. Peters?
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is what we are saying. For 4 months now, we were inaugurated. We signed, agreement was signed in February, and according to the content of the MOU, our tenure started immediately after that was signed. It will shock you that up till now, every progressive initiative that we have put forward has deliberately been opposed by these 2 other groups, which is why we have decided in a democratic setting, we may not all agree, but where you have the majority saying, okay, this is the right thing to do, I think the onus is on us to do what we have to do, knowing that we are running against time. These people came up with they were insisting on we have to do reconciliation. Okay, the reconciliation we decided to do. I came in from Abuja. The secretary came in from Abuja. The treasurer came in from Bayelsa. The chairman is there in Lagos. The financial secretary is in Lagos. I think the PRO is in Kaduna. We all came together. This, and I must tell you, everything we've ever done is from our own pocket. We've never enjoyed any support from anybody since we came. And we can't go on like this. Now we came for the reconciliation only for these same people now to come out and then try to discredit all our effort. We taxed ourselves to set up this reconciliation, and one actually objected. We needed to send names of nominee. Each group was to nominate one member of a committee to refute. One didn't hold to the ground that he saw some people that we agree not to invite. If she cares to mention, if you know Mr. Abayomi Wesu, he was the secretary to the Rahul Ladipo administration in the 90s. The founding member, you are seeing such person because you saw the person at the venue, you had to not tenable. My brother, I wanted to say something before you cut me short. I know because of the time. I need to tell the world our story so that they don't think we are trying to silence. We have extended this olive branch a couple of times, but for some reasons known to them, which we are not aware. If you have your concern, bring it to the media. Everything we talked of doing, you always oppose. For 4 months, we have not been able to open an account where we could warehouse whatever donation that comes to us, which is part of what the MOU suggests for us. We can't do it because you are expressing some unknown fear. You don't even know what fear you are expressing. Come to the public, come and tell us what your concerns are, so we treat it. So these are some of the things we have been battling with, and it seems like we are going around 360.
Let me quickly come in here. I want to appreciate your time because for us in the media, the success of the interim management committee to unify all the supporters group, now it is now sports supporters group, is our major concern. And you've been very, very explicit in telling the general public some of the few things that were not known. Mr. Abraham, lastly, let me quickly ask you this question. The supporters club is a vital arm of sports success, either anybody likes it or not. They've been able to show that with their vibes and their energy, we've gotten victory everywhere. For you as the vice chairman of the committee, do you really think there is hope for this project? It's a very vital question because you've just explained that the energy and the finances you've put in place must come to life, and the other two groups are holding back. 4 out of 6 can do it. But from your own point of view, as a Nigerian, that Nigerian spirit, do you really think this group will see the day? That's the big question.
Sorry, I lost you there. I didn't hear that last the last part of that your question. I didn't hear it.
Okay, the last part of my question is that with all input all on ground, the committee ready to work, are we ready to see one supporters group that will take Nigeria to the next level when it comes to participation of sport and supporters group?
Okay. So I will start from the last line I dropped at the event of at our meeting over the weekend. There's no stopping us now, my brother. We are charged with these responsibilities, and we must make real the responsibility that is ahead of us. We are still open. we don't the more the merrier. That is what the supporters club is all about. So if they are disgruntled over certain things, let them come back. We talk about it, but that should not mean they should be holding us back every time we come up with this. You are expressing fear of litigation. You are expressing fear somebody is going to outsmart you. No, now nobody is trying to outsmart. Is not. I mean, we are together for a passion. A passion brought us together, and that passion must not turn to war. I can assure Nigerians watching that we have embarked on this journey, and our resolve is to make sure we give the 12th as what do you call it now, the 12th membership of our footballing team or whichever sport we are supporting from the stand, and that is what we have resolved to do. Going forward, I can assure you, we will see in Morocco what the branded supporters club is bringing to fore at the Women African Nations Cup next month, God willing. That
I want to say a very big thank you to Mr. Abraham Peter, the Vice Chairman, Interim Management Committee of the Unified Nigerian Football and Sports Supporters Group, for taking your time to join us on the show this afternoon.
Thank you, Prince Will. It's been a pleasure. And like I said from the beginning, we are one supporters club. No fighting, no in-house fighting. Thank you so very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
The Vice Chairman of the Unified Group, saddled by the IMC to bring all the groups together. He said something very pertinent in the point of this discourse, that there are some other smaller groups who are also vested with that niche to support sports, not just football. So everybody who has a knack, who has a niche to give football and sports all leveling field, should be allowed to come in. But 6 major parties have been drawn in as the forerunners, and from us in the media, we actually want to appeal that the interest of Nigeria, the interest of the sportsmen and women who participate, because when they sing, when they jump, when they dance, these athletes know that there are people really behind them. And one thing people don't really understand is this: the supporters club, which is now the sports supporters group, are the absolute voice of Nigerians, because it cuts across all sphere, it cuts across all profession. In the supporters club, you have doctors, lawyers, engineers, businessmen, students, you name them. They are all embedded in that particular place. I have gone to their meetings, witnessed some very fantastic outing. So it is not just a one-sided affair. It is a club embedded with rich professionals. So we're wishing them the very best as the Interim Management Committee marches on to unify all the groups. It's all the groups. It's not just the 6. So it's an appeal that, like Mr. Peter rightly said, there's no outsmarting anybody. Definitely, if you think there are things that are wrong, bring them to the table. The National Sports Commission deemed it fit. The Nigerian Football Federation, who is the parent body, also deemed it fit. So now, let's come and jollificate, like we say in Warri.